Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was an amazing roller coaster of emotions and action. It took even one Oscar for the best animation movie, and the second part will be in theaters pretty soon. Hello everybody, today we'll talk about everything that you need to know before watching Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Drop a like and consider subscribing. Let's do this. Firstly, I will do the recap of the first part. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. We open on Miles Morales, ordinary high school student, or at least so it appears on the surface. In a lot of ways, Miles is a child of two worlds. His father is African American and his mother is Puerto Rican, and he grew up in New York City. His father, Jefferson Davis, is a respected officer of the police department of New York, while his cool uncle Aaron is implied to be a little more freewheeling, and despite being a teenager from a lower class birth, has been accepted into the prestigious and upper class Visions Academy. And on top of all this, he's just a normal 15-year-old who wants to have fun and be given some space to figure out who he wants himself to be. After his first day of school, in which the dam of great expectations is repeatedly underlined, he runs off with Aaron to an abandoned part of New York subways to practice his graffiti. Miles is bitten by an unusual spider. The day after being bitten, Miles begins to notice strange things. In addition to a sudden growth spurt, his fingers randomly stick to almost everything he touches and his senses seem strangely acute. He remembers the spider bite and accidentally stumbles upon an old Spider-Man comic book where Peter Parker's troubles mirror his own. He returns to the subway tunnels to look for the spider, only to stumble upon Spider-Man himself fighting against the Green Goblin and the Prowler. The two villains are trying to keep Spider-Man from interfering with the Super Collider, a particle accelerator built at the behest of the Kingpin Wilson Fisk. Miles is drawn into the battle unwillingly and Spider-Man saves him with the two via Spider Sense, recognizing each other as kindred spirits. Spider offers to train Miles after handling the Super Collider. Unfortunately, he's shoved into the Nexus created by the Super Collider, causing a chain reaction that damages the machine and causes dimensional abnormalities throughout New York City. Miles goes to see Spider-Man, who is severely injured. Spider-Man gives him a flash drive that would permanently disable the Super Collider and stop him from destroying the world. Of course, Miles is untrained and barely has control of his powers. He hides and watches as Fisk stands over the battered and unmasked Spider-Man. Spider-Man warns Fisk that the machine will not bring back his wife and son, who ran from him when they saw him attempt to kill Spidey and died in a car accident shortly after. Fisk, his rage-stalked, kills Spider-Man on the spot. The death of Spider-Man, identified posthumously as Peter Parker, a 26-year-old grad student at Columbia University, is a massive blow to New York. As the city mourns their hero, Miles vows to take up his cause and use his powers to thwart Fisk. Actually, being Spider-Man, however, proves to be much harder than he thinks as he continues to struggle with his powers, breaking Peter's flash drive in the process. As Miles visits Peter's grave, he encounters the last person he expected to see, Peter Parker, but not as you know them. Peter Parker gives us his origin story, is in his late 30s and is getting long in the tooth. He has split acrimoniously from MJ and is out of shape. He is from an alternate timeline and was dragged here recently. After a hasty escape from the police, the two converse. Peter simply wants to return home, but Miles convinces him to teach him how to be Spider-Man. The two go to a laboratory where Fisk scientists work on the Super Collider, with the goal being to copy the Collider schematics, recreate the flash drive that would shut it down and stop Fisk. While they manage to take a computer containing the schematics, they are found by Fisk's chef scientist Olivia Octavius, aka Dr. Octopus. As they make their escape and Miles discovers he can also turn invisible, they are assisted by Spider-Woman, a young woman named Gwen Stacy, whom Miles recognizes from school. She too hails from another dimension, one in which she was bitten by a radioactive Spider-Man instead of Peter Parker. Her best friend, whose death made her become a loner, she was also pulled into Miles' world by the Collider. With a computer, the three make their way to the home of May Parker, Peter's aunt. Knowing full well her nephew's secret, she assisted him while he was alive by maintaining a secret base under her home, where Miles and his new friends meet three more Spider people. Spider-Man Noir, a private detective from the 1930s, Penny Parker, a young girl with a psychic link to a spider controlling the robot, and Spider-Ham, a cartoon pig. It comes to light that all of the extra-dimensional Spider-Man are suffering from the cellular degradation due to being in a foreign dimension, and that they will die unless they return to their original dimension. This is a problem because someone also needs to ensure the Super Collider is shut down. Miles offers to do it since he can stay in this dimension safely, but the other Spider people prove conclusively that he doesn't yet have what it takes to be a hero. Dejected, Miles leaves. Miles returns to Aaron's home to seek advice, only to discover something frightening. His uncle Aaron is the Prowler. He returns to May's house to warn the others, only for Doc Ock to arrive with the Prowler, Tombstone and Scorpion. A brawl breaks out as Miles escapes with the new Collider stopping flash drive Penny created, only to be cornered by Aaron. As Fix instructs Aaron to kill the young Spider-Man in his clutches, Miles reveals his identity to him. Aaron relents only for Fisk to shoot him. Miles escapes with Aaron, who experiences the seminal death by origin story of every Spider-Man, using his dying breath to encourage Miles to do what he wants. The final brawl breaks out below the streets of Manhattan as Fisk reactivates the Super Collider, threatening to completely destroy Earth in the vain hope of reuniting with his family. Miles joins the fray, fending off Fisk's enforcers and placing the flash drive in the Collider, reversing its effects. Penny, Noir, Ham and Gwen jump into the beam created by the Collider and return home. Peter is the last to go, initially reluctant but ultimately agreeing to leave the rest in Miles' hands, after seeing how he had matured as his world Spider-Man. Fisk attempts to kill Miles, their fight leading to Fisk witnessing ghostly visions of his wife and son, leaving him in fear upon seeing him almost kill Spider-Man. In the end, however, Miles manages to come out on top, blasting Fisk with electrified webbing and activating the kill switch that destroys the Collider for good and all. Fisk and his underlings are arrested, the Spider-Man return to their respective worlds, and New York celebrates as a new friendly neighborhood Spider-Man emerges to champion them. Noir has fun with the Rubik's Cube he took home with him, Peter repairs his relationship with Mary Jane Watson, Penny repairs her robot after it was damaged fighting Scorpion, Gwen discovers a way to contact Miles across dimensions, and in the Stinger, or in the post-credit scene, Spider-Man 2099 attempts some multiverse traveling of his own. We will see 100 different versions of Spider-Man. One of the main characters will be Spider-Man 2099, who have created a new device for traveling across the dimension. About the powerful villain, I have no idea who it will be. Of course, the Spot is in the movie, but he is not the main villain, but I'd like to see him being a serious and powerful villain, not childish one that we saw in the final trailer. Maybe this type will be interesting too, we'll see. The powerful villain probably can be the different version of Spider-Man. And of course, we will see the new upgraded version of 3 Spider-Man meme. So, that's everything that you need to know before watching Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Drop a like and consider subscribing. Thanks for your watching. Goodbye.